All right, so I got another tool haul here for you. First thing I picked up was this vintage set of snap-on punch and chisels, and I picked this set up for 60 bucks. It is missing a couple pieces, but for the price, I was pretty happy with it, especially considering most snap-on punch and chisel sets are well under $200, regardless of condition or how many missing parts. So yeah. And the main reason I picked this setup was for warranty purposes. I have the 19-piece Mayhew Pro set. And as most people know, Mayhew supplies a lot of punch, prying, scraping tools for the tool trucks. So if you got a good dealer, they'll warranty Mayhew tools. However, it does take a little longer, because they have to mail them out. So mainly these chisels, I tend to chip the corners or eventually the blade just dulls. Overall, the set is great, but, again, my Snap-on dealer has warranted these as well as some carbide scrapers I have in the past, as well as some Dominator picks. But, it just sometimes it could take, a couple weeks. And then a couple times it's taken a couple months. So, it's something he can do, but it does take a little longer. So that's the reason I picked this setup. I got a good dealer. Even though I do get some of this stuff used, he usually helps me out. And as you can see, these are the old underlined logo Snap-on. So yeah. Figure I'll take these to work, and then have a good set at home as well. So next thing I picked up was a Snap-on knock sensor thread chaser, and the part number on this is S6201, and this is a M20 by 1.5. And again, as I mentioned, this is for knock sensors. And I picked this up from my dealer. As I mentioned, I try not to buy too much stuff off the tool truck anymore, but you got to pay to play, especially if you're trying to have them warranty stuff that technically doesn't have to. So yeah, I really needed this in the moment. Didn't really have time to wait to get the lisle version. So yeah, I bought it from my dealer, and I believe it was $41. While I was shopping around, I figured I'd pick up some of the O2 sensor thread chasers. And these are the lisle branded ones, part number 12230, and these are M18 by 1.5, and are made in USA. And yeah, so I picked these up off eBay. I didn't know if it was like a listing error, or if it was intentional, so I went ahead and messaged the seller. And yeah, he confirmed. So yeah, I got both of these for $7. So went ahead and jumped on that. The only other one I want to pick up that I'll probably get from my Snap-on dealer is the soot sensor socket. And that's a M22 by 1.5. So that way I'll have a complete set. And so yeah, I'll take one of these to work and then just have one at the house. And then the next thing I picked up was the new 1/2-inch drive Astro nano sockets, part number 78214. And I've been holding out on these for a while, more so because I haven't really needed the 3/8 drive set. However, I've run into situations where I wish that there was a 30 millimeter working on air disc brakes on trailers. If anybody's ever done them, the caliper bolts, they can be a pain to get to sometimes on some of these suspension setups with the airbags. You can't really get anything other than just a regular box wrench in there, and especially to break them loose, they can be tough. So what I've been using is this Sunex 30 millimeter, because it's just shallow enough to where I can get a good breaker bar on it, and then I can run it off the rest of the way with my right angle impact. So this has worked well, but pretty excited about the 30 millimeter now. But yeah, as I mentioned, I've been holding out because the 3/8 drive set goes from 6 to 24 millimeter, and the older 1/2 inch drive set goes, I believe, from 10 millimeter to 24 millimeter. So you're not really gaining any sockets having the 1/2 inch drive set, other than, you know, you just need a 1/2 inch drive end. You know, to me, there was no benefit to getting it. And again, I never really needed something that shallow. So I held out on the 3/8 set as well. Yeah, so as you can see, this is a Cornwell 30 millimeter. There's a substantial depth difference. So this is kind of the most shallow I could find at the time. So curious to see how shallow the 30 millimeter is in this particular set. So, oh yeah, it's basically half the size. So I'm really curious to, you know, put this through the paces, see how well it holds up. So yeah, the only gripe I really had was I wish it came on a rail. Blow molded storage tray, you know, kind of takes up a lot of space, but it is what it is. I picked this setup as well as the 3/8 drive setup, or excuse me, picked this set and the 3/8 drive set for 60 bucks. There was a eBay seller that was doing like a little BOGO sale. So like I said, I haven't really personally ran into situations where I've needed something this shallow and 3/8 drive, but for the price, I just went ahead and jumped on it. So go ahead and take a look at these as well. So yeah, 24 millimeter down to 6. So these are real nice. I'm real curious on Astro's warranty. I've personally never dealt with them. So if anybody's got any input on that, I'd be curious to know. So I think the main difference, aside from the anvil, is these, okay, yeah, so these use a 17 millimeter hex. If you're gonna use a wrench, and I believe these are 14 millimeter. Let's see, does it say? Let's see. Let's grab one of these. All right, so okay, so the 3/8 drive is 17 millimeter. So this one is what are you? All right. So 22 millimeter on the 1/2 inch drive wrench, and then 17 for the 3/8. But while I have it, you know, so this is just a comparison with the depth on my Cornwell offset versus the Astro. So it's just a little taller. So this will be pretty handy. So yeah, I'll probably keep my 3/8 set at the house. Like I said, I'm never just working on heavy equipment. Never needed something this shallow in 3/8 drive. I do work on some automotive at work, but you know, nothing that I've needed an extra shallow. So I'll keep these at the house, working on my junk, and then have the 1/2 inch drive set at work. So yeah, I'll try and do a follow-up, see how well they hold up. And then, as I mentioned, you know, if you have any input on Astro's warranty process, I'd be real curious to know. So yeah, that's all I got for now. So as always, thanks for watching.